Hello, my name is Dana. I'm a health coach, certified personal trainer, and licensed cosmetologist. I'm a fan of natural remedies and less toxic cosmetics. I love to educate myself on ingredients and products and share my findings with you. As always, the links to the sources will be in the description. Now, I also want to remind you that I am not a doctor, I am not a scientist, and I am not diagnosing or treating or claiming to be a doctor or treat anybody. So all of this information is easily found and you can research it for yourself. And if you want to talk to your doctor about it, please do so. Today's ingredient is xanthan gum. Now, I don't have a specific product to go with it, but it's found in a lot of cosmetics as well as food products. So I will be talking about that in a bit. Xanthan gum is also known as xanthan, polysaccharide B1459, gum xanthan, and corn sugar, just to name a few names that it is known by. This ingredient is produced by the fermentation of glucose and sucrose by Xanthomonas campestris, which is a bacterium usually found on plant leaves, especially on cruciferous plants. Once the fermentation process is complete, isopropyl alcohol is added in order to purify the substance. It's then dried and milled into a powder that is what we see on the shelves today. It was created in California back in the 1960s and was approved by the U.S. Food Safety Authority in 1968 for use as a food additive. Xanthan gum is used in cosmetics and food as a thickener, emulsifier, stabilizer, as well as for viscosity control. It's also used in some medications to lower blood sugar and total cholesterol for diabetics. It can be found in many cosmetics, for instance, mascaras, lipsticks, toothpaste, shaving cream, aftershave, baby lotion, makeup and hair products, as well as food products such as ice cream, sauces, baked goods, puddings, salad dressings, and more food products. It is used in low carb or keto foods to replace traditional higher carb ingredients to thicken the food, such as like flour or cornstarch, which if you're following a low carb or ketogenic diet, those additives are not approved or used. When ingested, xanthan gum acts like a soluble fiber, so it can help with constipation, and it is used in some laxatives. But even though it acts like a soluble fiber, per the FDA, it cannot be labeled as a fiber. You know, I like to use the EWG rating score. It's just easier to find, but there are better scoring websites that it's just easier to use. So according to the Environmental Working Group, or the EWG website, it rates with a fair score, which is they consider it low or good in the subjects of cancer, allergies and immunotoxicity, development and ingredient toxicity, and use restrictions. The EWG website really didn't talk much about it as to why they don't actually allow it in their EWG approved cosmetic ingredients or cosmetics, which I found a little off, but I'll talk about that more a little later. So far, scientific studies have found that xanthan gum is fairly safe to use both in cosmetics and food products. In cosmetics, it's not like an active like retinoids or retinols, The molecules of xanthan gum are too big to penetrate through the skin barrier. So the main purpose of that in cosmetics is to give the product like a better feel or make it more stable, or just for the consistency. The World Health Organization has established this ingredient to be limited to 10 milligrams per day in food and 15 grams per day as a laxative. It hasn't been shown to be irritating when applied to the skin, nor has it been shown to cause acne. As a matter of fact, some acne products actually contain xanthan gum in their ingredients. It's usually considered vegan since it's fermented from the sugars from corn, wheat, or soy. The only exception would be if it was fermented using sugars from lactose, which is like a dairy milk. And of course, vegans don't have any animal products whatsoever. Regarding digestion, science has discovered that those of us in the industrialized nations have the strains of bacteria in our gut that is needed in order to break down xanthan gum. The gut bacteria strain is Ruminococciaceae family. Apparently, the bacteria in our digestive tracts have adjusted or evolved in order to break it down because it's very prevalent in our food products. So I guess you could say our tummy bugs have adjusted themselves, which is kind of cool if you think about it. For some people, it may cause gas and bloating, so that's something you have to look out for. Let's talk about some concerns. I found that some people who stay away from this ingredient are concerned because of allergies to it when it's in skincare. Other blogs have mentioned that it can be hard on the gut when it's consumed, which is true. It can be true. The good news seems to be that it's safe to use in cosmetics. The skincare company Anne Marie Gianni, which is very well known for having cleaner ingredients, less toxic ingredients in their cosmetics. And I do have a link to their website in there, which discusses why they're fine with using xanthan gum in some of their cosmetic products. The expert panel for ingredient safety regards xanthan gum as safe and is not considered to be a dermal irritant or sensitizer. The cosmetic ingredient review panel has rated it as a 1 out of 10 for risk rating. So the lower the number, the lower the risk. So 1 out of 10, that's pretty good. As for food safety, there are a few concerns. It has not been studied in women who are pregnant or breastfeeding. So if you fall into any of those categories, you might want to keep that in mind when purchasing any food products. Those who have intestinal issues such as blockages or are experiencing nausea, vomiting, you will probably want to stay away from it because it can exacerbate that. And because it acts like a soluble fiber, pulling the water from the digestive tract to make your stool, to make a well-formed stool. If you have intestinal blockages, this could be deadly. So again, check with a doctor. If too much is consumed, it could cause a laxative effect, which again, it is in some laxatives, but that could be even worse. It can also be contraindicated for those people who are on diabetic medications, since it has been shown to lower blood sugar. And like I said in the beginning, it has been used in some medications that are for diabetic people who need help with lowering cholesterol and blood sugar. So again, talk to your doctor about that. They may tell you, hey, stay away from that. If your doctor isn't sure about that, show your doctor this video or at least get the links in the description that I have that talk about some of the things about diabetic medication and xanthan gum. Also, it has been shown to be an irritant if inhaled, so be careful when handling it if you're using it to make cosmetic formulations at home or if you're cooking with it. But besides all of that, it's considered safe to use both by the FDA here in the United States as well as in the European Union. Should you use it? Completely up to you. As always, like I've been saying throughout this video, please check with your doctor to make sure that this is something safe for you to use, especially if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, have intestinal issues, are on diabetes medication, etc., etc. Always check with your doctor. Please don't take my word for it. I'm just here to give you information, and I try to be educational and sometimes entertaining. Sometimes it just doesn't hit. That's fine. If you consume a lot of xanthan gum, you may want to cut back, especially if you're having digestive issues like gas and bloating or other problematic bathroom issues. I'm not going to go into that, but you get the picture, right? There are substitutes such as cornstarch, cognac gum, konjac, Arabic gum, carrageenan, and psyllium, just to touch on a few. And I did do a dive into carrageenan, and that one was up in the air. But hey, I'm just feeding the information to you verbatim. So again, make that decision. If you're vegan and you're not sure if this comes from like a lactose or wheat, corn, soy sugars, you can always contact the manufacturer of the food product to see if maybe they know. If you're allergic to corn, soy, or wheat, again, you may want to stay away from xanthan gum because just in case it's fermented with one of your allergy sources. Honestly, this product doesn't scare me at all. I found it interesting that it has been shown to lower blood sugar. I had no clue. I never heard that before. Maybe it's in other blogs, but I never heard of that, which would be another reason why people on low carb or keto diets, if they use products with xanthan gum, experience, lower ketones or blood sugar or whatever that it might be from xanthan gum. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I also found it interesting that the EWG finds this ingredient to be, I wouldn't say a problem, but they don't openly allow products to be part of their approved, like EWG approved green products to be listed on their website. So that's a whole other video that I should make about the environmental working group, because it might be a money grab. I don't know. Again, I'd have to look into that. It is in limited amounts in both food and cosmetics because, you got to have a limit to things, right? You can't have too much of possibly a good thing. I'm not calling it a good thing, but it's not a super bad thing. But yeah, it should have limits as to how much you should use. Anyway, I hope you found this to be helpful. Let me know in the comments section what you think about xanthan gum. Is this something you consume often? Have you ever heard about it at all? You're wondering what it was? Well, there you go. Let me know in the comments section what you think about it and if it's something that you stay away from or that you don't mind using. Keep an eye out for more videos about ingredients as well as styles and things that are out there. Thank you so much for joining me, and you have a blessed day. Bye.